Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Full Potential. Let me share a story with you. There was a girl who always sat in the back corner of the classroom. Not because she wasn't smart, but because she didn't want to be seen. She spent most days trying to disappear, hiding behind her hair, behind her silence, behind the fear that if she spoke, everyone would realize she wasn't enough. One afternoon, during a lesson, the teacher paused and asked a question. The room fell silent. Eyes darted around. No one answered. The girl knew it. She knew the answer. But she shrank in her seat, hoping the question would pass. But the teacher noticed her. "You at the back," she said gently. "What do you think?" The girl froze. Her throat tightened. But the room was still. Everyone was waiting. So, almost whispering, she spoke. She gave the right answer. And the teacher lit up. "Exactly," the teacher beamed. "That's the answer. Beautifully explained." The class turned to look at her, but for once, it didn't feel like a spotlight. It felt like something she had earned. And in that moment, something cracked open. She didn't suddenly become the most confident person in the room. But she felt something new. A flicker. A thought she'd never dared believe, maybe I don't have to disappear. That one moment of being seen, heard, and celebrated stayed with her. Not because it changed her overnight, but because it proved that even the quietest voice has value. Have you ever looked around and felt like everyone else seems to know what they're doing, while you're quietly trying to hold yourself together? If that's where you are right now, this episode is especially for you. Because confidence is often misunderstood. It's seen as something loud, something bold. Something you either have or you don't. But today, I want to offer a different perspective. One that's softer. One that gives you room to be exactly where you are. One that allows you to be uncertain and still believe you have something to offer. Confidence, you see, often begins in moments like this, the one we saw in the classroom just now. Not in grand speeches or dramatic gestures. But in being recognized when you least expect it. In saying the thing even when your voice trembles. In being met with warmth instead of judgment. That's where it starts. With one honest try. One scared but brave attempt. One tiny step toward believing that maybe, just maybe, you belong. It begins when you start trusting yourself. Even if no one claps. Even if no one notices. Even if your voice shakes. It begins with keeping a tiny promise to yourself. Maybe it's drinking more water today. Or replying to that email you've been dreading. Or speaking one honest sentence when you're used to staying silent. You may not see results right away, and that can be discouraging. You might look around and feel like everyone is 5 steps ahead of you. But comparison is noisy. It clouds your path. And your path is sacred, it's yours alone. When no one is there to cheer you on, it can feel like your progress doesn't matter. But it does. Those small wins add up. They're not just steps, they're signals. Signals to your brain and heart that you're showing up for you. And over time, those little wins begin to whisper a new story. I can do hard things. Some days will feel heavier than others. On those days, confidence won't come from motivation. It'll come from commitment. And on those days, let your only goal be this: stay kind to yourself. That alone is an act of rebellion in a world that constantly asks you to be more, do more, prove more. I know it's exhausting to fight for belief in yourself when you feel like the only one in your corner. But there's a trick I want to share with you: borrow belief. Yes, really. Borrow it. From someone who's been there. From a story that moved you. From a podcast that makes you feel seen. until your own belief catches up. Until you look in the mirror and think, maybe, just maybe, I can do this. And while you're at it, build yourself a small circle, even if it's virtual. Fill your space with voices that uplift, not drain. Let the reminders of your worth be louder than your doubts. And if you ever feel lost about where to start, go back to our episode 3, Finding Your Why. That foundation might help you understand not just what you want to build, but why it matters to begin with. I want you to picture the version of you a few months from now. The one who kept going. The one who still has doubts, but doesn't let them stop her. That version of you is built on today's decisions. Today's resilience. Today's quiet bravery. This journey you're on? It doesn't have to look like anyone else's. There's no right speed. No one-size-fits-all path. Just you, taking one small, courageous action at a time. And maybe today, that action is simply acknowledging, I showed up. You don't need cheerleaders to be worthy. You don't need applause to matter. Your story is valid, even if you're the only one reading it right now. If this episode spoke to something in you, take a moment to breathe. To thank yourself. And if it helped even a little, I'd love for you to share it. Do not forget to subscribe. Come back for the next episode.